Hey there, welcome to Carcassonne. It's tonight with another Champions League match. This time it's maticarrizoc from Argentina versus adrear from Ukraine. So far, both with one match win and one loss. Adrear was upset last week by Michaels, and Marti lost their first match against Fanatical Lion. Then at least were able to beat Kreukler, where the Lithuanian definitely was the underdog. And in the remaining games after today's, adrear will have to face João Margarito, and the Lime from UK should be favored in both matches as well as in today's one. Marti, tough opponents. Michaels, Mikhail doesn't get a lot easier than today. So if the Argentinian wants to reach the playoffs, quite likely he should upset adrear today. Else, I think the prospects for him are looking pretty grim. Adrear is a master since I don't even know when, 4 or 5 years ago, something like that. Peak rating in the lower 800s, I think 8, 15, 17, something like that, might or actually should be the highest rated Ukrainian ever. Maybe even the first to reach 800. Yeah, might be. With 11K games of experience, and this year is Marti's rating evolution, roughly 4.5K games of experience, and a nice trend here, showing that he regularly plays and learns, gets better over the years, and basically not even 3 years worth of experience. And for this, the level with the top rating of likely 730 something is quite good, but the history versus adrear, that's abysmal. 9 matches, or rather 9 games, all lost, but at least there were quite a few that were pretty close. So we'll see if he manages, well, to beat his, what is it called, bogey team. Will be tricky. For me, adrear is the clear-cut favorite, but this was the case last week as well, and he still lost. Another, here we go. First 4 points for the Ukrainian on the board. Marti took care of the road and then of the open city cap as well. In the meantime, blue got the first monastery on the board. Bans yellow's road into the monastery square, opens another city, then tries to equalize yellow city up top. So far, so good. Looks quite good for adrear, actually. A lot will be riding on this city. If someone manages to attack this and take it over, this could bring an early but quite a sizable lead. Yeah, but I wanted to say this Dorito really isn't the prime tile to attack due to continuations like this here, threatening to kill this square with 2 blue meeples involved, and by extension, maybe even 3. Nonetheless, adrear went for this. Didn't even take more than 5 seconds to think about it. Definitely a gutsy move. Yeah, now he quite likely will just take the 3 points. On the other hand, if he plays for ruin over here, he might consider taking 2, going for the restriction of this monastery, while also taking away an attack to the city. Okay. Which actually doesn't necessarily mean that he goes for the ruin, but at least might not have a problem if it becomes one in the end. Yeah, well, will he close the city? If so, then quite likely with the road meeple. Okay, that not the move I would have expected here, because giving yellow this road end, not sure about that. On the other hand, with the looming threat of this restriction, what good does it do if you have a road meeple here that would also be entangled with this dagger restriction? Does he claim a few points or immediately harass Yellow City, threatening to block them into a starting tile? This doesn't look good. This doesn't do a lot. Their move actually seems to be the best one, taking away this monastery square, forcing yellow to protect. And that's definitely quite a gain for blue, preventing the perfect continuation for Yellow City at the bottom. And now he even takes this, basically Ukraine's this monastery. Hey, Dachnik. Yeah, what to do with shoddy straight? Well, at least restrict Yellow's city. Okay, he goes for points, which sounds fine to me. Ideal continuation later might be a crossroad to take 3 and supply the road end. Yeah, even if that gives yellow a meeple back, but with a curve, quite likely he'll force the crossroad here. Don't really want to see yellow drawing a curve there and claiming this road stop as well. Yeah, nice try by yellow to break blue city up top. Should at least delay this here quite severely, because blue had hoped to draw a Dorito to close the city over here. And instead of the 1 piece, now they need not just 1, but 3. So 2 additional pieces to close the city. And that one definitely doesn't look like it will be closed in the short or midterm. Yeah, blue liberated their monk, claimed the first field, also supplied this cap to their city, still hoping, well, to close this one, and if it doesn't work, maybe to get the splitter. For now, blue was able to draw a crossroad, didn't hesitate to claim the small road here and supply the necessary road and to their longer road, while also liberating one of yellow's meeples. Yellow finally closed their city at the bottom, and blue claimed another 4 points on the left side, while also restricting yellow's monastery there. Hey, Otto. Yeah. Next city on blue's field. And he enjoys the already sizable lead of 19 points. Yellow with a 0-point move, but adding this option to attack the city again. And quite likely they weren't really keen on taking these 2 points due to the threat of getting restricted here to the only remaining left-handed dagger. Blue invests one of the other daggers to kill yellow's monastery, and here we go. There is yellow's attack with some love from the deck. It usually works out just fine, and adrear might just connect now because he definitely want to lose this city / ruin to yellow. I think I forgot negation there. Definitely don't want to lose this to yellow. And he should be doesn't. Oh man. Long day, sorry folks. So both connect. Score is still roughly the same, so almost plus 20 for blue. Field is worth 9, so even tying this one doesn't work for yellow. It's just not enough. Going for this one with a bit of love works. So 1 cow, 1 horse each left. Blue could restrict this square now to a 50-50 and does so. Doesn't roll the dice, doesn't try to wait for a city plus road piece to kill the square. Rather takes his chances, hopes to draw the horse. Difference here between horse and cow being that the cow is without a shield and the horse in this case is with the shield. So even if it completes, at least 2 points fewer to yellow. And of course, blue hopes to draw the horse anyway, either for his city or at least to claim some points somewhere. And again, I talked bull because he limited this to the horse, even though that scores 2 points more. Okay. Hey, Glovia. Yeah, exactly. Consideration. Do you go for this immediately, or do you hope to draw something to restrict? Definitely not the easiest choice in the world, but again, I'm not convinced that restricting this to the horse was better. But we'll see. He's still at plus 15. The city is worth 10, 14, 17. So if closed 19 times 2, 38, that's 21 minus 3. So 18 points, plus maybe 3 for yellow. That's more than yellow needs to take over the lead. And now yellow even attacks blue's field, and this square here is unblockable, of course. And there still is one straight left. But here we go. The horse in blue's hands, and they are at plus 11. A tight field over here would still be plus 2, and they have the meeple majority. And what else is there for yellow? Well, trying to take over the field, creating options like this one here for more city points. Adrear takes away at least the left-handed dagger. Now even gets one of the remaining caps to close this one. Closes the city, which opens up another chance for yellow, and that is closing this one, claiming a 6, possibly 9-point field. So he might even have to go here now if he intends to claim the field. But actually, does this even work? Well, in some cases it does. If adrear gets the extender, can't do anything about this city. With the dagger he could. That would be at least the restriction to the extender. But the problem for yellow is just claiming a 3-point field isn't enough. On the other hand, they are down 9. If they now claim this monastery for 6, they'd still be down 3. Blue could simply claim the field, go to plus 6. Yeah, quite likely we'll see the restriction now. Oh no, this adds a city to yellow's field, but nonetheless 6 points for the road. Yellow doesn't get the extender, and even with the extender they wouldn't have won, as blue could have played against this city then. But with these 13 points in the end, the city here definitely was the deciding factor. On the other hand, if blue had closed this one on the left side, which yellow was able to kill, they still could have won even against this city here. So let's take a quick look at the stats. Yep, as usual, side with more caps and less roads usually has the better chances, and this time seemed to be true. Although stats are just stats. 150-50 flip for yellow, and the game is turned on its head. So here we go, second game. Again, 15 minutes per player, and it looks like these two have started a tournament with at least 5 games. So they are able to abandon games and take care that starting player advantage is distributed equally, although looks like just 3 matches. Let's see. I don't see it. 5 matches. Okay, yeah. What I had expected. So first move's done. Marty claimed the city. Adrear started a new one. Marty indirectly protected his city, didn't care taking this road, as then might get restricted there. Blue started a new city on the left, and 2 monasteries for yellow. Not convinced about this. Why not just stack the monasteries there? Doesn't make sense to me. Also, if you go for the monasteries, then these 2 meeples will be stuck there for quite some time, especially if they are next to each other. So you quite likely will have to fight with less meeples for the time being. And then creating a possibly huge field definitely isn't in your interest. But of course, it's still early. Yellow still has a lot of meeples in hand. Therefore, even claims this field. Blue tries to indirectly protect the city. Doesn't work. Now it's restricted to the left-handed daggers, and there are only 2 still in the deck, as one was provided to yellow earlier to close their city up top. But blue responds in kind, restricting a yellow's monastery to a right-handed dagger. And here we go, 3rd monastery for Marty. Again, not stacked. This time quite reasonably not stacked, as these stacking options weren't very good. Hey, Beamels. So blue attacks the field, as quite likely all of you would have expected as well. Also has the chance to connect up top, and basically that's even more likely because yellow has to wait for this dagger over here before filling this square. So both daggers are definitely critical tiles in this game. Yellow with another city at the bottom, trying to restrict blue's here. Didn't work out, as blue just got the defender in time. Yellow with an indirect protection of their monastery square here. Definitely didn't want to see blue with a Dorito to kill this. That's quite timid. They could have gone for a move like that, hoping to draw a curve, supplying this road end to blue. Not ideal. And then blue even takes the 4-pointer here, also threatens a kill there, although that's one of their 2 connection squares. On the other hand, even if both were to be killed, at least they'd have chances on the left side, and yellow drops another farmer while also protecting their monastery. But there are still enough options to attack this field. Likely blue would do this if they'd get a cap on the left side. With this curve, they might. They have 3 meeples in hand. They are down 24. So going for big field fight is definitely a good idea, as yellow meeples another monastery. I mean, just think about what would have happened if they had stacked these. I mean, they could have even lost the field and quite likely would still be able to win this game. This year, though, spreading all 4 gives blue definitely a chance. Just need to take care of the field and win it. Yeah, shame that they didn't use this for the city because they were frightened of getting blocked to the dagger, which they already need. But at least they managed to kill 1 of yellow's monasteries for good. Yellow takes away the option for blue to close the city and attack the field at the same time. Also restricts this, of course. Starting tiles, crossroads, roses don't fit there anymore. This here isn't just one option to kill this square. It's also, in some cases, a great way to attack the field, or rather take it over even. Yellow with the penultimate right-handed dagger closes a city, even gives this road monastery a chance of completion. And the good tiles continue for yellow. Breaks blue city. But at least blue got a starting tile to keep the hopes of closing that one alive. Yellow restricts this farmer's connection. Although there's still a road monastery left and 2 vanillas, so 3 tiles to directly connect. And if that doesn't work, there would be the left way around the city as well. Yellow supplies a road end over here, so the next curve would give the owner a 6-point road, but also liberate this monk. More prominently, though, this here reduces the chances of blue city by quite a lot, because now pretty surely they need a splitter and then some to still have a chance of closing this. Blue supplies the straight here to crawl around if necessary, but they will get their direct attack to connect with 2. But again, a lot of love from the deck for yellow. Now they could restrict this to exactly 1 piece, because there's only a road Dorito left to go here. Dagger's gone. Roses after this one here are gone as well. And at minus 40, that's definitely terrible news for blue. So if they take over this field, which is worth 21 points, 24 points, sorry, they take away these 24 points from yellow and gain 18, so that's 42. Over here, they are down 41. So blue gets the Dorito, maybe even claims this road. They'd take the lead. But yellow still has a few threats. One is this city. They could still get this monk back. Yeah, and I should have counted or looked. There are 2 Doritos left. And blue hits 1. Yellow hits one of their outs as well. And now the game is roughly tied, but only roughly. Yellow's still at +9. Blue with another insurance farmer here. So the main field will be theirs. Yellow claims this road, and that should be the dagger. At least in this game. Yeah, and more quick points. Sure, there's still a 9-pointer out there for adrear, but even then he'd be down by 10. No chance to close this one. And even more quick points for yellow, claiming all the road ends in the end here. Adrear might snap this, hope to close this on his next turn, but even that's not enough. That's really, really, really annoying. So yeah, this farmer here not taking the road with I think the last meeple. And another road end for yellow. This time, okay. They at least have the decency to claim the 4 points there. Yep, exactly, Otto. After losing 10 games versus adrear, Marty finally manages to take one. Which sets up, of course, a decider. And definitely a critical decider. Both players basically tournaments live here. I mean, they could, of course, still win in rounds 4 and 5, but it would definitely be better to have a 2 versus 1 record after 3 than having the pressure of the necessity to win both remaining matches, and quite likely even with a sweep. Because again, if you don't win 3 matches, there is almost no chance to reach the playoffs. And even if you win 3, you'd hope that your games difference tiebreaker is at least +1. And in many cases, even +1 isn't enough. Marty again with the monastery, also with the starting player advantage. adrear with lousy tiles so far. Doesn't want to take this road, rather hopes to be able to restrict Yellow's monastery later. Might even claim this route now. Well, doesn't invest the meeple. Just waits for a better option to do so. Well, what's better? The option for your opponent to restrict the monastery to a starting tile and maybe the city as well, or the option to a restriction to the dagger. But yellow for now thwarts loose intentions here, takes away the restriction moves, while of course taking away some tiles to continue the city there. On the other hand, may quite likely will get something for this one. The only question is whether blue will be able to restrict this even more. And the first chance to do so might be now. Doesn't go for it, rather goes for the efficient road and monastery building. Didn't work that great as yellow snatched the road end immediately and attacked blues. Yeah, that's definitely the better option to go after yellow's square there. But of course, just gets a rose, which is usually one of the best tiles out there. In this case, quite likely he would have loved to get something with the field side over here. And again, doesn't hit it. What'll he do now? Well, claim a new city somewhere, possibly over here. Don't think he'll go for the equalization of yellow city while leaving this road. Yeah, actually, restricting the city here seems fine because yellow is unlikely to claim the road, else they'd endanger their city in a second square. Of course, again, yellow got one of the nicer pieces out there. Although dagger would have been more problematic for blue. Boy. What a sequence for yellow. The only tile they didn't get was the final stone here. But at least they were able to restrict blue's road. And this might have even been the right orientation with all these curves gone. A lot of harassment going on over here. Yellow self-restricts the city just to keep the chances of this monastery alive. Yeah, Otto suggests for this cow here, instead going for this one. And at least blue city would have been forced into this problematic square, and Not sure when this curve was placed. Let's quickly check. Looks like afterwards. So then this would have even created an option to attack there. Yeah, now that yellow city is killed and blue just took the field in the middle, a lot is hinging on yellow drawing one of the triple city tiles, and they got one. Also a perfect one in this case, with a shield, with a road end to attack blue's road there. Even are able to connect immediately. Now they are only down 7, but also some love for adrear, giving them a chance to restrict yellow city immediately. And he even claims this side field. There are still a lot of Doritos left to close the city, so it very likely will be at least a 6-point field in the end. And even if yellow hits the dagger, it will be a 0-point move, but would of course give them a meeple to score more. Yellow claims a nice field here, but likely would love to kill this or threaten to take over blue's field. On the other hand, that field right now is only worth 3 points, although there are still options to close that city up top. If blue gets one of the starting tiles, for example, quite likely they'd snatch these 3 plus add the city to their field. Yellow should liberate the monk, grab the road on 8-point move instead. So both harassing each other's cities. For now, it looks like I don't know which was more effective. There are no straights left, just crossroads and starting tiles. So at least yellow's defense here did work. Blue snatches another city. Yellow tries to restrict this, but also leaves a cap there. They only have the 1 meeple in hand, so justified, but again, a lot of love from the deck. Perfect piece for blue. 5 points for the city, 3 points for the road. Just great. At least yellow was able to kill the connection at the bottom. Rendered is here a 3-point ruin while they took the bigger part. Yeah, but from now on, it basically needs to work perfectly for yellow. And this here definitely isn't perfect for them. Adrear closing a city for 9 points, 3 for the city, 3 for each of the fields. And he even gets a starting tile. Yeah, might just claim the 6 points up top. Pushes lead to 23. Now his field is worth 9 points. So this possible attack through the color through the last remaining curve might be a consideration for yellow if adrear doesn't kill this now. It would be in his interest. On the other hand, could just try to get his second farmer on the field. Oh, he even goes for the field attack himself. Wow. Yeah. Why not? Great idea, definitely. Pads this one on the left with another 7-pointer, and yeah, this will be his 11th win versus Marty. But he doesn't care about history, he only cares about today. And today it will secure the precious second match win in this year's Champions League stage. Okay, I won't rip into yellow. Doesn't matter anymore. So they just take 6 points. And it even connects 2 yellows. Ruin on the right side. Taking another 6 points. 7 with this road, of course. Yeah, well, this monastery here with the situation of this burrito. If it works, it's great. If it doesn't, it might cost you the game. And it looks like that's exactly what happened here. Let's check. When did they get this Dorito? Pretty early on. Yeah, so can't really fault them for going after it. Yeah, let's take a look at the standings and then at the situation with the monastery. So adrear now. Oh, GG not picking up at 2 match wins and still a +1 games difference. So in between Nalaheim and Krishna for now. He will be the favorite versus Joao and Fanatic Lime. I'd say if he wins 1-2-0, should have great chances to make the playoffs. Of course, if he wins both, he definitely will make the playoffs. Marty, on the other hand, might even be the underdog versus Michaels, because Michaels so far played a great tournament, was able to beat adrear, and took 2 sweeps on top of that. And Marty definitely will be the underdog versus Michael, so pretty rough. And he's also already at -2. Yeah, I don't expect the Argentinian to reach the playoffs then. But there's still a chance, and he'll fight for it. So let's take a quick look at this monastery, or rather the Dorito. Yeah, well, not easy. Basically, 3 options, none of them ideal. Either you would allow blue to threaten the block at the right side of your monastery, but at least have a safe city and options to create a bigger one. Then a restriction of this monastery quite likely wouldn't matter. You could play it safe in terms of monastery, but then some cases stuff like that happens. Not ideal. And this here, of course, we have cows, which would be pretty annoying. Hey, Kyrillo. What would you like to review then? I mean, I have time. If you want to go, we could. But first things first, which of these options would you have picked in the early going of game 3? Potential block with left-handed dagger. Not sure. I mean, something like that here. I don't know actually. Or this one rather, right? Yeah, this looks nice. But would you have placed this over here? Would you have rather placed it there, or going the maybe safest approach like this one, although that's annoying as hell? I mean, can't close the city before you close the monastery. Nah, that doesn't work. Hey, Helge. Okay, not ideal, and in many cases this just works fine, so can't really fault yellow for going with this one. Right one. Okay, so adrear would have chosen that. So, Kirillo, do you have any situations in mind which you'd like to take another look at? I mean, basically, or anyone else for that matter, because I, as usual, don't really remember that much of these games, but we could take a look at the first one. Okay, adrear doesn't have. Then let's take a look at the first one's ending position. Let's check whether there was anything worthy. Not really. Not really. Just hinging on this connection here. Oh, but we could assess the situation when Kirillo opted to restrict the city to a 50-50. So that was quite likely this curve here. Did I notice something interesting? Well, this for one. So let's take a look. So there are 4 pieces to kill this. But in the end, it's quite likely that yellow would place the next possible piece here to restrict the options for yellow. So quite likely with all these city plus field tiles, something like that, then there'd only be this tile to kill the city. And then your chance, well, would be worse than the 50-50 you did go for. So yeah, looks like your restriction is totally fine. And then, Kyrillo, the question was, why did you restrict to the horse if the horse comes with a shield and possibly gives yellow even a road, when you could have done the same restriction to a cow? I mean, the 2 points you could gain with the horse somewhere might be a factor, but that, at least in my book, doesn't outweigh the upside for yellow with this orientation. Let's see if he answers. Well, and if not, then I'd call this a stream in a few seconds. Okay. Okay, so this way, yellow has a good use for the cow, which is, of course, closing the city. And with the horse, he could at least score points. And the other way around, the cow basically is useless for yellow. And the good piece would be needed over here, and they couldn't use this to claim points elsewhere. Yeah, that's the reason. Not sure it's correct, though. Yeah, my idea is basically restricting this to the cow. For one, if yellow connects, they score 2 points less, as the cow is without a shield, and they aren't able to take this road, which in the end could be decisive. So the difference are 5 points, and these 5 points outweigh the 2 that yellow could score with the horse if you leave the cow for here. Yeah, but sure, getting a useless tile like the cow, having to use it nonetheless somewhere, is worth some points as well. So in the end, it's, yeah, maybe a tad better than a coin flip either way. I'm not sure. Yeah, right. He definitely could take the field, which is also 3 points. But of course, this farmer won't get back to the bench. A road meeple might. Let's see. Not a lot of road ends left. Yeah, anyway, in the end, rather marginal. Okay, don't think there was a lot left in this game later. We'll still take a second look. Yeah, basically at this point, it was only a question whether yellow would get this connection, but even that didn't help them. Yeah, Helge, we could do that. Just let me take a look at this one here. Doesn't sound like someone has anything to check back, and I didn't write anything down, and I really can't remember specific situations that would want another look. Yeah, this was a tough choice for yellow. Still rather convinced that it was correct, because they just needed this field and needed blue to, for example, draw one of these two tiles and then close their city. And at -6, they still had a chance, even if it's only a small one. Let's try to figure this out. So if blue gets the extender, yellow closes their city. This would be one point for blue, and 7 minus 1 for yellow, so 6. That's 5 of blue's 6-point lead. Then the curve for blue, with which they could take this 5-point road, let's say. And they could also go for the field. Then they'd be at +4. But could lose if yellow then claims the road. So the field move, maybe not. Let's put them on the road for 5. And let's give yellow... Nah, the road move is wrong. Blue can just wait, actually. Or can they? Yellow could still claim this. Tricky. Adria, I'm talking about hypothetical permutations. Not about the one that actually happened in the game. The question was whether yellow still had a chance after this farmer, and yes, they had. They just needed to close this city and get a nice tile on their last move as well. And it was possible. even though unlikely. Okay, Helge, shoot. Second game, asked adrear. I don't think that you had a chance in the end due to Marty drawing all the road ends. There was a situation. Yes, there was. Oh, actually, it's a replay. So let's take a look. There we go. Yeah, the situation over here. Maybe this is a tad too much. I mean, you had to hope draw one of the two remaining Doritos anyway. And if you expand your penultimate meeple, it's tough to justify claiming this road. But if you had, at least there would have been one fewer option for yellow to score big points, big quick points even. Yeah, I don't think this farmer was necessary. The risk of leaving this here empty might have been okay, but I'm not convinced as this farmer at this point in time was the right choice. Because then happened what was quite likely very annoying. I mean, sure, now this here is prime material securing the field. Yeah, maybe even with this straight, just take the road. I mean, there are still 4 road ends available out of 10 tiles. Sure, not having a meeple for the city is... Yeah, this situation here, that's definitely the problem and might have cost you the game. I mean, all these road ends for yellow were, of course, very great for them. Just one flip there and you would have had a chance. Yeah, but I definitely take a closer look at these moves here. Okay, then let's check out Helge's move in the second game. So I take it Otto didn't stream then. No, of course he didn't. He was in a chat. Yeah, well, the difference between a 7-point and a 4-point road is 6 points if it gets claimed by your opponent. Okay, Helge usually plays blue, then let's take Sir Gus as yellow. Okay. What am I looking at, Helge? Field invasion by yellow is pretty likely. Still 2 straights left. You drop the farmer, then I'd guess this one here, as that's the most valuable field. Yeah, so that makes the most sense. There are still 3 curves left to unite yellow's top field with the for now shared field at the bottom. I mean, yeah, the field looks pretty safe, except for this one, and maybe something up top. Yeah, and on the left side as well. Yeah, so Helge's reasoning is rather take this before yellow does and connects 2 farmers. Then yellow would have 3 in the end after a curve, 4 meeples on the field versus 2, possibly 3 by blue. Yeah, and losing this complete field would definitely be losing Helge the game, unless he would have claimed all quick point tiles. No, even with the quick point tiles, he doesn't stand a chance because right now this is a blue field. 2 versus 1. Let's say you didn't. Then you could have just placed this here anyway. Although that helps yellow actually. No, it doesn't help yellow. It takes away at least some for yellow, but let's think about yellow claiming this, going here, taking over this field. That's a 27-point swing. And if you reclaim it, you'd gain the 15 again. Could still gain 6 up top. I mean, if yellow invests the farmer there, you only need to tie the field again, and there's a good chance on the left side. On the other hand, if you just go there, you effectively force yellow to connect here, which will work out for them, very likely. And you might get stranded with a 3-point farmer in the end. And there's still the chance of drawing all curves, using 1 to connect and scoring more points with your last meeple, if you don't place a farmer here, and just outscore this field. So I think it's a tad early. Because there's no chance for both sides of getting any meeple back. Quite likely would be very hesitant as blue to invest this now. It's a totally different story for yellow. On the other hand, not even that, because if yellow connects, they'd gain 12, or if they use this one, 11 points, and the game is tied anyway. Then we'll see the farming fight. Yeah. Yeah, and what Quillo says has definitely some merits. So there are two good options to attack the field. So just keep it as is. If yellow goes there, you just counter. Because once you connect up top, winning the main field would win you the game. If you don't manage this connection, you are the underdog to win anyway. Just because yellow's connection here would let them take the lead. Okay, folks, then that's it. Let's take a quick look at tomorrow's matches. Yeah, not sure about Fabian versus Pakshi. Should definitely be clear win for Pakshi if everything goes according to plan. But Fabian is already down at 2 match losses, so has to fight for his tournament life. Maybe that propels him into a better level than he showed in his last 2 matches. Okay, we'll see. Maybe I will stream this. Maybe Otto will. Who knows? Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for being active in the chat, especially. I see you soon. Bye bye.